Hey, what's up, everybody? Josh here. Turn this on over here towards me just a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, hey. What's going on, everybody? It's Josh. Welcome to the Rrated show. Well, this is just a sort of laid back, chill, informal video. I just thought about carving up this pumpkin right here and then just talking about a few things, getting some things off my chest, and I try to keep it relatively short. As long as the video will be as long as the time it takes for me to carve this pumpkin right here. Now, you may be asking yourself, Josh, Halloween's over. And I just figure, if they can start Christmas right after Halloween on November 1st, if they can push it all the way back 2 months like that, then I can extend Halloween another month. So I got another pumpkin, and I got a carving kit. And I'm going to carve this pumpkin, and I'm going to light it, and I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to continue to talk about horror movies and pretend like it's still Halloween, because F Christmas. That's why. Who says I can't? This is my channel. So, yeah, so there's that. I'm going to carve this pumpkin, and we'll be carving it together. How about that? And talking about some stuff. So let me grab a bowl real quick as I throw this pumpkin remnants away. Hope you guys had an awesome Halloween. I hope it was everything you hoped it would be. Hope you had a lot of fun with your friends, got to dress up, eat lots of candy, all that good stuff. And mine was pretty mellow. I just kind of hung out at home, worked on videos, and watched a lot of horror movies. I watched a lot of horror movies. Started filling out some of my Halloween collection on Blu-ray. And we did a few commentaries, all that good stuff. All right, so we started out getting the top open. So some things have been on my mind lately. Well, first of all, you guys may have noticed that I've started expanding the channel and doing different things, not just horror, not just commentaries. I know it's horror commentaries, fan commentaries in general, but specifically horror commentaries, they're very niche, and I love doing fan commentaries. I mean, that's how I started my podcast, the R-Rated Horror Commentary Podcast for horrorphilly.com. That's what got me into this whole thing, and so primarily started doing fan commentaries just for that, right? For Horrorphilia, and I love Horrorphilia, but I sort of got the YouTube bug, and I wanted to start growing a channel out and doing some different things, talking about different types of movies, not just horror, and not just movies, but maybe other things in life, and comics, and maybe cultural themes, I guess, just things that generally interest me, that reflect my personality and general interests. And so I just started to expand the channel, do different things, and I'm also trying to improve the quality and level up a little bit. So I've been learning OBS and making overlays and spoofing, not spoofing, but spicing things up a little bit, just to provide a better content, just a better channel, better content for you guys that are subscribers, so I can grow this thing into something, just see where it takes me. I enjoy the adventure of it, so let's try to get this open. I stand up, turn this so you guys can see it a little bit. All right. One of the things I've been thinking about lately is friendships and what it means to be a friend, and how you treat people, how other people treat you, what your threshold is for this and that and the other thing. I really strained. I have a lot of friends because I've lived a lot of different places, and I'm middle-aged, so I've gotten to meet a lot of different types of people over my life. And I've had difficulties with relationships with people in the past. I don't think I'm unique in this. I'm sure a lot of people do. I'm not the only one, but You know, I was picked on really bad in grade school. Pretty much from the third grade on, I was just one of those kids that, because I was different, was really picked on a whole lot in very like cruel ways. And so it's one of the reasons why I'm so anti SJW. It's because I feel like they're bullies. They're a bunch of bullies who want you to conform to their way of thinking, and that's just not me. You know what I mean? And I think they're hypocritical and stuff, and I don't buy into their bullshit. But those experiences of mine growing up shaped who I am today, and I spent a lot of my younger adult life being wanting, but being defensive and being afraid to show myself for who I really was. And I don't want to get this like super deep on you guys, but you know, I'm setting up laying the foundation for the conversation here. But you know, those experiences shaped me in my behavior formative years to be defensive and cynical and sarcastic and all these other things. And as I've gotten older and relaxed a little bit, become a little bit more self-assured, I have learned to just take things in a stride a little bit more, I guess, be more self-confident and have more self-esteem based off myself and not what other people think of me. And I'm always having to keep that in check when I'm thinking about YouTube channels, of course, and any creative project I'm working on, you know, whether it be the podcast or YouTube videos, you know, just try to be my authentic self as much as possible. And it doesn't always click with people. You know, I always think of this line from this movie called Swingers, which was a 90s movie. It's Jon Favreau and what's his name? His buddy, tall guy, Vince Vaughn. There's a scene they're sitting in the diner and, you know, Vince's character is acting like a douche, a lovable douche, right? And Mikey's giving him a hard time. Favreau's character is giving him a hard time, and he's like, "Hey, I don't like some people, and some people don't like me. That's just the way life is," and that's so true. I've actually always kept that in the back of my mind as a reassurance sort of thing, as a general understanding of, you know, way people perceive each other. Is that I don't like some people, and some people just don't like me, and that's the way it is. And it's just that it's particularly hard when you make friends with somebody that you think it's going somewhere. You know, I mean, like especially with guys, you know, it's hard to make good guy friends, and you think you meet somebody and you got a lot in common. You're gonna hit it off as pals, and you just don't for whatever reason. You know, you do something stupid or I don't know, whatever. Say the wrong thing, act the wrong way. You know, and I'm definitely guilty of that, judging people, acting like an asshole. When those things happen, you know, you sort of fall back on your initial instincts that you formed when you're younger, and you knee-jerk react, and you behave out of context. You know, not out of context, but you behave out of character for yourself, typically, when you're thinking more rationally. And, you know, you knee-jerk and you say something you didn't mean to, and things spiral out of control, and, you know, then it just escalates from there, and next thing you know, you're just either not friends or even enemies, you know? And then you flush away time spent investing in a friendship with somebody, and it sucks. And sometimes there's just no coming back from that, unfortunately. And that's just part of being a human being. It's making mistakes, you know. Nobody's perfect, you know. I get certain attributes from my parents that aren't good, and my parents got attributes from their parents that aren't good, and it's just part of your nature, and you just can't help it. Sometimes it just comes out, you know. But what you try to do is when you screw up, you try to apologize sincerely and then learn from it and do better next time. Sort of a thing I'm going through right now with an ex-friend of mine. I feel bad. I knee-jerk reacted because here's the thing. I won't get into details specifically about anything, but I tried to teach myself, and I'm always trying to reinforce this idea that you should never set expectations for people based off what you think they should do, you know? I mean, you should definitely have boundaries, and you should have like limitations to what you'll accept from behavior from people towards yourself. Because I'm like one of those people who completely believes that you teach people how to treat you, and if you tolerate, being disrespected or being treated like garbage, for whatever reason, if you accept that, then you're basically just telling them that it's okay. So it's okay to like have a line, and it's weird. It's hard to juggle those two things. Not setting unrealistic expectations for once you set expectations for people that are unreasonable, you're just asking to be let down. Because if people will always let you down, because people are imperfect. People will let you down. That's why forgiveness is such an important aspect of friendship. It's very important to be able to forgive people and then continue to keep trying to look at their positive side. Some people, it's just impossible, but majority of people are good people and are flawed, and you just kind of accept them for their flaws and then hope they accept you for yours, And even at 42, I'm still learning these lessons. Still learning to not only accept other people's flaws, but accept that other people don't accept my flaws. And that if you lose a friend or someone doesn't want to be part of your life for whatever reason, that you'll be all right, Sorry about that, guys. Quick time stopped for some reason. Right in the middle of my prolific thoughts. Anyway, I digress. I was going off a little bit on a tangent. I was talking about the themes of accepting yourself. And, be willing to accept that you make mistakes in life and you don't always get along with everybody. But anyway, that brings me to the second point, which ties into the channel. Is just, one of the good things about doing YouTube channels and podcasts is, you meet new people. It's social. Usually it can be. You meet people, you forge allies and whatnot. And I've had a lot of guests on my show. A lot of guests. I've done a couple really cool interviews. Co-hosts and all that. And I guess the theme of this video is just being self-reliant. You know what I mean? Like, you put your if you put your, like, what am I trying to say here? If you rely too much on other people, that's just a failed way of being productive, unfortunately. Because, people won't show up. People won't get your back. People won't, people aren't always going to do the things that you want them to do. So, you can't really count on anybody but yourself. And I will always have guests on the show, but I've decided to make this more... I don't know what is up with QuickTime. It's really annoying the shit out of me because it's breaking my concentration. Essentially what I was saying is that, you can't rely on getting your having your productivity on somebody else, having a partner or whatever, if they're not really invested in it, or having an expectation that somebody is going to help you. Essentially, don't try to ride coattails. I mean, yeah, if you can collaborate with other people, that's great. You can, make content together occasionally, but I think it's better just me making stuff, essentially learning to be self-reliant, make content on my own terms when I want to, the way I want to, because why not? I'm totally capable of doing great content on my own. I like having company. Like I said, I'll keep having guests on the show, but essentially expecting help from other YouTubers or other podcasters, or being reliant on collaborations with people, just, for me, it doesn't really work. I think I'm learning a life lesson right now, I guess. It's just that you want to do something, you want to do it the way you want to do it, just do it yourself. And you don't need other people to be good at something that you really feel passionate about doing. You don't need to be reliant on somebody else's name or somebody else's talents or somebody else's whatever it is they bring to the table. You don't need them. Everybody has everything they need already inside them to achieve something, And sorry guys, my nose itches. Am I gonna sneeze? Oh, God, it's annoying. Hang on, let me take a swig of my Red Bull here. By the way, Red Bull, don't drink this shit. It's terrible for you. Anywho, moving on. Let's get on this pumpkin here. I don't know what's up with QuickTime, so I'm trying to move it along. Yeah, do it on your own, man. Trust in yourself. Trust your own voice. And, I've been reliant on other people's talents. I don't know if it's out of fear of failure, or if it's some weird insecurity or self-doubt or desire, to be involved with, somebody else's energy, like some people just have a certain way about them and it's attractive and fun. You're like, I want to join up with that energy and combine mine with it and make something awesome. I think it's probably a little bit of all those things. Not necessarily anything wrong with that, It's okay. Those are normal feelings. But I also like the idea of just saying fuck it and going, look, obviously you can't rely on, people lives change and they do different things. They get involved and they have responsibilities and they have other ideas of the way things should go or how they should be done. And you're putting all your eggs in one basket, relying on somebody else to make content with you. And it's better, I think, just to have your own ideas, do your own thing on your own schedule, the way you want, when you want. Totally self-reliance. And trust that people will like it, that it'll have a voice. And so that's what our Rrated show is about. Part of the reason why I just kind of wanted to slightly rebrand was because our Rrated Horror Commentary podcast, it's very specific. It's a tongue, it's a mouthful of words. Nobody ever gets it right. And I just decided, well, I might as well, if I'm going to start doing different shit and expanding the channel, changing things around, just rebrand it a little bit. I didn't want to go totally foreign with it. So I decided to go R-rated show. Oh, I lost a piece of pumpkin. And there's other R-rated this or that on YouTube, but I looked at them, they're all like lazy, not doing anything. And I just said, fuck it. R-rated show's good. It's simple. And the whole reason, I don't know if I ever told you guys this, the whole reason why I picked the R-rated concept was because when I was a little kid and I would see an R-rated movie, there was always that like red screen that would come up before that had the R on it, the R rating. And I just always loved. I just would get so excited whenever I would see that. It's like, ooh, good things are coming, you know. And I just kind of, it was the whole idea was a play off that idea of like, you know, you're about to see something adult and fun and, um, you know, like edgy, you know, um, R-rated. You know what I mean? Like my show is R-rated. I swear. You know, I have maybe some unpopular opinions about things. I don't know. I mean, it's not controversial necessarily, but we definitely are R-rated in nature. So it just seemed fitting. It seemed fitting to me that that's what I would name my channel. And so when I was rebranding, I didn't want to move away from that, you know. Um, so far, so good. Going with a sort of classic jack-o'-lantern here. Try to get this moving so we don't take up too much of your time. But so yeah, self-reliance and failing friendships, you know, making mistakes and all that stuff. Been floating around my mind a lot, and learning from mistakes and saying you're sorry when you screw up and taking a hard look at yourself is a normal human thing that everybody's got to do occasionally. Take stock in yourself. Look at the qualities that are good. Look at the qualities that are bad. Try to reevaluate and reassess and grow as a human being. I mean, if you're not looking at yourself and being honest with yourself, then you're not growing as a human being, and you're not living life, you know. So I'm trying to do that. You know, I fucked up. I fucked up a friendship. I feel bad, and I don't know if we'll fix it or not. But you know, I tell myself, it's okay to get angry at people, and it is. If they disappoint you and you're angry, you can express it in a healthy way. But anger is one of those emotions that, you know, it's unruly and sometimes it makes you do crazy shit. And so if you do that, if you fuck up like that, just apologize and you just hope that they'll forgive you. Still want to be friends. And I find that, you know, you screw up, you do something like that, and if you can work past it, you're usually better friends, you know? You're better friends for it because you know you understand each other better, you know. But doesn't always work out like that, unfortunately. And this may be the case. It depends. You know, you just at some point it's just out of your hands. What are you gonna do? Beg somebody for a friendship? I mean, at my age, you just don't do that. So um, it's life. So it's weird. All these things are kind of coming to a head in my life, and just sort of figuring out a new direction. And I really need to make a big change soon, like move or something. You know, move. I've been kind of in the same spot since I graduated school for like 3 years, and life is good. I'm really happy. I got good things going in my life. A job that pays me enough money to pay my rent. It's a great job that I really like. An awesome boss and good coworkers, and I work at a place where people go. They want to be happy. They're not miserable. They don't look for reasons to yell at you all day. Um, and it's, you know, the situation I was in before that was horrible. I was working two jobs that one was all right but didn't pay, and the other one was just absolutely horrible. I was unloading trucks from like 6 till 1 o'clock in the morning, so I was working two jobs, and I had absolutely no time to have a life. You know, no time to. I could barely squeeze out YouTube, or not YouTube, but podcasts. Surprisingly, made podcasts happen during that time period. I don't know how I did it, but I'm sure those are some of the least good shows I have, but was making content still, but, you know, not really making a lot of artwork, and my was going through a breakup, so at least I didn't have that on my plate, but I was dealing with the emotions from all that. It was just a dark time, man. I was like working during the day, come home, shit, shower, shave, run off to my night job. It just, I had no idea how like depressed I was, man. I'm a very optimistic dude, so I was making the best of it, and but I was miserable, you know? It's like, oh, how did my life become this? And this is how it is for artists, you know? Artists who are struggling, and artists who, you know, when you're an artist and you go to art school, you put all your eggs in one basket, especially if you're poor and you take out student loans. You're fucked, essentially, because well, you're taking out huge debts, huge amounts of debt for a job that will pay you absolutely nothing on the outside, unless you become like the next fucking Andy Warhol, which ain't gonna happen because art's essentially dead. Now you can say, well, Josh, you could be, you know, you could be a graphic artist. Well, first of all, I hate doing that shit. I mean, I do it for my channel because I know how to do it, but I don't enjoy it, and I don't want to sit at a desk in a cubicle and do it for somebody else's dream every day. And not only that, but those jobs don't pay anything. So many kids have gone to school for graphic arts degrees that most places will just take, you know, they'll hire the latest kid out of school for $10 to $12 an hour. And, you know, if you want to have a job like that, you got to move to a major city. And if you're going to live in a major city, you can't work 40 hours a week and make $12 an hour and live by yourself. It's impossible. It's impossible. And you sure as hell ain't going to be paying student loans back, you know? There's one thing, if I could fucking get in the fucking Doc Brown's DeLorean and go back in time, I would go back to the 90s and tell myself, I would swat that pen on my hand when I was signing off on student loans to go to art school. And I would, because see, at the time, here's the thing, at the time I was like 17, and I was like, well, shit, if you don't go to college, you're screwed. And if you go to college, you're screwed because you have debt, but at least I'll be educated. And with a degree, anything's possible. Yeah, well, now everybody and their cousin's sister's brother has a fucking degree, and it doesn't mean shit. Nobody cares. It's like the conundrum of well, it's like, you know, a lot of places I even hire graphic designers. It's like, you know, they want to hire like. They want to hire an entry-level graphic designer with experience, but you can't get experience unless you get hired with no experience, kind of thing, right? So it's impossible to win. And who can afford to live and work on $10 an hour? I mean, essentially, it's paying the same thing now as it was paying in 1999 when I started out. You know, maybe even a little bit less because it's not hard to find people with that skill set anymore. You know, art jobs, graphic design jobs, you know, they became sexy, and the curriculums became available for people to go to school for, and now everybody's got a fucking graphic design degree. You know what I mean? I mean, I could never find a way into it, and then to be honest, I never really wanted to do that anyway. So, essentially, you know, since I got out of art school for the second time after I got out of the military, you know, I was just working a shitty art job and unloading trucks at night, and I was miserable. Now I've got this job that I love. Let's focus on some positive things. Not an art job, and I'm actually kind of glad for that because now when I come home from work, I still have energy to make art if I want to. So, you know, it's really hard to work at an art gig that you don't particularly like. You don't really get off on the work you're doing. And you're working 7 to 8 hours a day, and then you come home and you're like, all right, I'm gonna make a comic book page. I'm gonna work on a comic book page for 5 hours. You know, that's just not me. I just can't do it. So here we go. I'm gonna light this bad boy up here in a second. Let me see if I can See if I can show it to you. I am keeping Halloween going. Who says I can't? Huh? Who says I can't keep Halloween going all through November? Alright, let's see how this bad boy looks with a lit candle in it. Put the lid back on. See, I got an extra pumpkin because I knew I'd want to do this. Alright. Let's see. I guess it's kind of stupid. I have this other light on too. There she is. Alright, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for letting me get some shit off my chest. I hope you like this video, and please subscribe to my channel. I finally rounded 500 subs. I'm like at 505 or something now. I'm getting more and more subs every day. I got a good vibe going on here. I can feel things are going to start picking up. Please go hit the subscribe button. And if you want notifications, hit the bell. I know everybody says this, but believe me, you're a content maker. You know how much work goes into this. What you're doing is you're watering the seed. You want it to grow. And if you like my videos, please subscribe. I mean, hey, at least try it out for a little while. If you don't like it, you can always unsubscribe. So, thanks for watching, and until next time, guys, stay awesome, stay rated. Cheers. Bye.